You have entered a new world. Please review your identity settings for this world. Name, Ravenlock. Faction, Federation. Resistance. Cover, Cooperative of Mechanical Dawn Train E Patrol Officer and Field Unit 7 of the Federal Bureau of Enforcement. Level 1 Wanted Criminal, Resistance Small. Objectives, steal confidential Bureau intel, gain the Bureau's trust, and feed Mechanical Dawn's operations with intelligence support. A muffled synthetic voice drilled into her ear. Through the haze, she saw text trove across the air like a waterfall of light. Ravenlock gasped, pain split her skull. As if an axe had cleaved her head, a pressure so sharp it felt ready to burst. Sutures, a man's voice beside her. Close her scalp, then give her one more shot of the special analgesic. She is at her limit. An operating table, she could not open her eyes, yet her mind was shockingly clear. A needle bit into the skin of her arm, the drug went in, a cool flood, the pains off and fast. This was not a dream. Dreams never hurt like this. Something here had snapped the world's logic. Maybe she had fallen into the kind of thing that only happens in fantasy books or on a screen time slip. She had been yanked from her cramped little hole straight into the unknown. The shot steadied her enough to think panic would not help. She forced herself calm. The closed beta forum of Crimson Soil had announced the game's start, then the room had flipped. Ravenlock guessed she had been thrown into Crimson's oil itself. Here she wore another life. She focused in the dark, a light screen unrolled. It showed the same identity block she had just heard. Corps of Mechanical Dawn, Trainee Patrol Officer of the Bureau's Field Unit 7, Level 1 Wanted Criminal, Resistance Small. Ravenlock thought perfect complicated is an understatement. She read it again until her hands felt useless. She had no idea what Mechanical Dawn was, but cooperative sounded heavy. The Bureau was clearly official. The Level 1 wanted piece was a grenade, and moles screamed certain death. Moles do not retire. She had watched too many spy dramas. Undercover never ends pretty. The future looked grim, the end closer than comfort. Metal clinked. She could feel a needle pulling through flesh, the tug and stitch of the suture. Her heartbeat slowed from a ragged gallop to a steady drum. Thought caught up, furies to a thin, hard line. Time slipped. The anesthetic is wearing off. She will wake now, said the surgeon. She gave up the act of staying limp. Her eyelids cracked. White glare stabbed her. A flicker of cold silver wavered in front of her eyes. Not a lamp, glass. The surgeon's lenses throwing back light. She tilted her head a fraction, turned her eyes, saw a ring of masked faces around the table. You are awake, the man with the glasses nodded. The surgery went well. Ravenlock chose ignorance. She scraped up every ounce of acting she had and frowned, as if searching for a memory. What happened to me? Pity softened the doctor's face. Bad luck. First time out on field training and you ran into arm scum. The suspect got away. Your head took a blow. Cranial fracture. Cranial fracture. She kept her eyes in focus, but joy flashed beneath. With a fracture like that, amnesia was perfect cover. She had no access to the original's memories. One wrong answer and she would snap the spell. Yes, skull fracture. Big hole in your head, blood everywhere. He sounded almost cheerful, but it is fine out with the old, in with the new. What do you mean by out with the old, in with the new? Ravenlock blinked. Sorry, a lot is missing. Temporary confusion is normal. It will ease as the anesthetic fades. Your fracture was nasty and hard to repair. So we replaced that plate of bone. He smiled. Federation's latest tech, ultra-light alloy cranium. After this, you do not need to worry about your head getting cracked open while you chase suspects. So, iron skull. In a fight, she could headbutt and ring someone's bell. The surgeons ruled her out. The gurney hummed over metal floors. The ceiling pulsed with soft blue. It felt unreal. A turn, a tight-metalled or breathed open, bed and body slid into a capsule ward. The surgeon had swapped scrubs for a lab coat. His badge read Leonard Voss, Director, Medical Office. Dr. Leonard Voss slipped a line into the back of her hand, closed the capsule's glass and said, "Rest. Your wound should close within 12 hours, green, but on your right if anything aches. I have another case on deck." She nodded. The room emptied. Inside the pod, a panel ticked and flowed with her data. Beep beep. ECG waves climbed and fell, heart rate between 80 and 110, blood pressure low, mild anemia. Everything about her was quantified, painted green. Crimson Soil wore a cyberpunk soul. Tech here had jumped a staircase beyond her reality. This capsule felt beyond Earth's sleep. The fracture and 12 hours to heal that alone told the story. Crimson Soil had sold itself as a second world that truly exists. Enter the game, open the second world's door. No exaggeration, Ravenlock had crossed. She stared at the ceiling and wondered if the other 10,000 beta players had crossed too, waking into lives not their own. She adapted fast. She had always been hard grass and a crack. No parents, no problem. Now she had a new field. Strange as it was, it offered a soft opening. Patient, a trainee, a troll officer smashed on her first field day. While she healed, she was safe, space to breathe, and because the wound sat on her head, amnesia was a cliche that worked. Buffer time. Why she crossed was too big a question, she shelved it. What stood in front of her was simple, Liv. 6 lines of counsel burned in her skull. First, treat the game world as real. Second, tell no one that you're a player. Third, reveal no content of the game. Fourth, you have one life, only death cannot be reversed. Fifth, once you start, there are only 2 exits, clear the game or die. Sixth, everything has a price. 4 and 5 braided one truth, death is final, one life is not a joke. If this world was the second, then the first was home. If you die here, do you die there? No one can afford that price. Pressure tight and around her heart, survival pressure. She had 12 hours. After that, she would step out, meet the second world head-on. Given her tangled identities, she would likely have to dance with a resistance, cell called Mechanical Dawn, climb the Bureau for Trust and be a good mole who passed intel and never slipped. A buffer time, but a royal flush of danger. Every move a tightrope over a gorge, one slip, bad end. Maybe some poor player drew the same rotten hand. Blue light washed her, the capsule humming while the drug fed back into her veins, her scalp prick lead, the wound itched as it knit. Open status panel she tried aloud in her mind. The system answered, the screen bloomed again. She skipped the identity block she had already memorized and flipped to the next pane. Basic attributes. Name, Ravenlock. Class, Upriver. Extraordinary ability, none acquired. Inherent talents, performance persona, you act so well you can fool most people. Life tenacity, you're as hard to kill as a cockroach. Danger sense, you feel danger coming and you step aside. Quick study, any skill you learn comes faster. Depth River, what did that mean? 8 prompts slid in Depth River, a path that hunts special ability users, kills them and strips their pout. Kill a gifted one and their gift becomes yours. Her pulse spiked, the pod screamed, heart rate abnormal. Ravenlock dragged 3 deep breaths and forced it back down. The alarm died. She leaned into the thought of what that path required when the room went black. The door breathed, someone entered. She turned her head, through glass she watched the door. Dr. Leonard Voss strolled in, wiping his lenses. He tapped the pod and smiled. How do you feel? She was about to say, I think I lost my memory. What he did next froze the words. He lifted the lid, slid a blue chip from his watch, and pressed it into her palm. He lowered his voice from the organization. What? Which organization, be specific? The smile never left his face. Dr. Leonard Voss was a mirror. He was a mole too. He nodded as if she had answered, my clearance is low. I do not know your mission. If you need me, I will assist. She kept her face blank. And this, the life profile of the person you are replacing, study it. Habits are the hardest to fake and the easiest to betray. Lucky for you. The person you are playing was a fresh intern, few bonds, easy to wear. He placed a black chip in a silver wristband in her hand. Your comma's here. The ones above will reach you through it. Cool voice, minimal words. The more you say, the more you bleed. She chose silence. You have sacrificed much, he sighed. To sell the wound, you cracked your own skull and opted for mechanical surgery. Do not worry, the original has been handled, her genetics and trail are rewritten. From now on, you are Ravenlock, patrol trainee of Field Unit 7. Pieces slid into place. There had been a trainee named Ravenlock. She had been replaced by a Mechanical Dawn mole and killed, then Ravenlock crossed into the mole who had replaced Travenlock. This bureau has more than one awakened. Most unit and division heads carry gifts. Gifts vary wildly. Dr. Leonard Voss added. Rumor says the head of criminal investigations can detect lies. Be careful. Got it, Robin said. All for the dawn. His eyes held intent. That sounded like a creed. She echoed without missing a beat. All for the dawn. He nodded. Take care of yourself. I am off to the next surgery. Did not expect the workload when I signed up. She watched him go until the door sealed. Survival instinct flooded her veins. Danger stood in the room. What kind of thing was mechanical dawn? They could erase a person and insert a double and not blink. Why plant a mole in the bureau? What was their endgame? More important, could she ever leave this second world and go home? What if she was trapped? She breathed until the pod did not scream. Her eyes returned to one word, Dip River. If she had any edge, it was this, a terrible edge, maybe her only hope. She walked a wire above a canyon, left and right, forward and back. All were falls, there was no exit. Moles do not retire. If she betrayed mechanical dawn, she was a corpse. If she betrayed the bureau, same end. Plus she was a level 1 wanted face. Death tight in her caution, lonely years had taught her armor. She thought a long time. She chose to treat this event as a game, a real game. A game you cannot lose, a game with your life on the table. She would clear it. Reach the end, dodge every bad ending, and force a happy ending, whatever it takes. Intern Ravenlock, your body has recovered. Please exit the pod. She woke and opened her eyes to glass. The panel painted Hearst at a screen. Not a dream, no snap back to the first world. A nurse came in, helped her up, pulled the line from her hand and the bandage from her head. You can go, rest for 2 days. No strenuous work, the nurse smiled. Remember to file your training exemption with your captain or they will dock your attendance pay. Okay, her poverty reflex was instant. Attendance pay mattered. She stood, her bare feet met cold metal. She stretched. Sleep had restored her. She took a few steps and caught her reflection in the metal wall. Back home, she had long black hair. Here her face was 7/10 the same, but her hair was a tight crop, pale skin, lean build, looked frail at a glance. No sign of a wound. Cleaned it. She stood in the small room and did not move. She had no idea where to go. She did not even know where she was. This world was blank. She guessed this was Bureau HQ from Dr. Voss's title. The Bureau had teams and divisions. If he ran the medical office, then she had been cut and sewn in the Bureau's medical center. Her panel said she belonged to Field Unit 7. No more time to stall. She steadied herself and walked to the door. It slid open to a corridor of blinking indicators, empty. She stepped out. A cold voice filled her ear. Intern Ravenlock, your captain, Marcus Hale of Unit 7, calls you to report to his office. Follow the green indicators. A strip of lights glowed green and pointed her way. She kept her face smooth and watched the walls. Cameras tracked her. She paused, then followed the green. The lenses panned with her. At a fork, a green ripple lit, the right arm nudging her choice. 2 minutes later, she stopped at it Field Unit 7 office, Marcus Hale. It opened, she smoothed her pulse and stepped in. A ring table. Holograms hung like glass sheets of text. A man in a gray-blue uniform stood before the light. He did not turn, sit. She slid a chair from under the table and sat. He faced her. You have had a day. I am approving 3 days off. Skip the training room. Thank you, Captain. That settled it. Marcus Hale was her direct superior. For now, he looked like a decent boss who cared enough to give leave. No thanks. I share the fault for not keeping you covered. He rubbed his brow. Before you go, rest, swing by criminal investigations and give a statement, walk the details. Here it was, her spine tightened, palms damp. No memory of the original was a built-in trap. She truly knew nothing. 24 hours ago, she had worried about rent. Now she worried about survival. Captain, she let hesitation show. What is it? His voice stayed patient. I remember very little, she said. There are gaps I cannot fill. His brows dented. What do you recall? My role, intern in Unit 7. She watched his face. The crease deepened. He said, Adam, call medical, send a doctor up to examine Ravenlock. The cold voice again, instruction delivered. Adam, so the voice had a name. Superintelligence, ubiquitous. Marcus studied her. Truly nothing? Nothing. She shook her head. What happened? You chased a suspect triggering charges at the port. When we reached you, you were down in a pool of blood. The suspect ran, his tone sharp, and we need you to remember his face. It will help. I will try. Doctor at the door, Adam announced. Send him in, said Marcus. The door side, Dr. Leonard Voss hustled in with a cart. Captain Hale, what is wrong? I ran straight here. Memory loss, likely post-trauma. Please look her over. Amnesia. He looked mildly surprised. He wrapped a scanner around her head. Blue washed down to her boots. He frowned at the readout. Anesthetic could blur recall. But that is not what I see. This needs a full workup. Bring her back to medical. Meh, Marcus said. Come along. Voss nodded. Thank you, doctor, she said. Duty, he glanced back at the captain. I will report the results at once. They walked. Voss talked. The port blast hit hard. Several lost limbs, a few needed bionic organs. I did 5 or 6 surgeries without closing my eyes. You are lucky, he sighed. Some did not make it. Black Sea City's gangs need a purge. Every other day they stir the pot. This time they even hit the port. He was good at his part. If she did not know he was a mole, his soft concern could have fooled her. He was seeding her with what mattered. She stored it all. In a game, every line from an NPC could be a key. Inside the medical room, he tapped his watch. The lights dimmed. Adam is everywhere. We need dampers to talk free. Otherwise it listens. The kindly mask dropped. I did not expect you to play amnesiac. It works. Here, away from Adam's eyes, he spoke with a bite of respect and mechanical dawn. She outranked him. A man with 2 faces. Her hand brushed her pocket. The silver com and the chips were still there. The band probably carried dampers too. Can you fake a report for me? She asked. Of course, he grinned. Why else do you think I brought you here? Half an hour later, the paper said what it needed to say. She carried it back to Marcus. He read it twice. He lingered on the last line. Restade's memory returned. Go, he sighed. If anything comes back, report to me at once. Your leave stands. Yes, Captain. She did not breathe until the door closed behind her. First gate passed. No suspicion she was still on the board. The next gates would be thinner. This world had high tech and the supernatural both. Mission rigid. The screen only she could see rose like a ghost. Mission description: Black Sea City is a keep ort in a nest of gangs. A shadow covers it. Unknown hands are reaching in. You must uncover the plot. You may accept or decline. Decline reduces risk. Accept may bring unexpected rewards. Mission content: investigate the port bombings. She remembered the 6th line of counsel. Everything has a price. Gifts are invoiced to earn. You risk. She was a path clearer in a second world. She stood between danger and opportunity. The 4 clay under her feet. Ravenlock. Accepted. You have accepted the mission. Progress 0%. She had a slip for leave. A new problem rose. She did not know where home was. She stood in the corridor counting her breaths, then spotted the restroom sign and knew what to do. She ducked it. In the stall, she snapped the silver band onto her wrist. It blinked. Power on. The digits shifted to the time 1938. It looked like a basic band. She felt like a grandmother with her first smartphone, sweating as she prodded the smooth surface. Why did this thing have no buttons? She tapped the side. Biometric confirmed. A projection bloomed. Listing functions. Signal damped, secure comms, encrypted net tracking, auto-destruct. She scanned down and blanched. Long pressed the side and throwed a detonate blast comparable to a microcharge. A weapon. Lucky she had not pressed too long. She placed the black chip on the band. Reading done. The first page was her life. Ravenlock, parent skilled in a towerist, strike on a maglev several years ago. Insurance payout was large. She earned top grades and got into Black Sea Academy forensic program, graduated and passed the bureau intake, became a trainee. Current address 233 Anning Street, Harbor District. The file went deep, down to habits no one would notice and even her bank passwords. Wait, loans, big ones. Why with the insurance? Tuition. The academy was a money pit, over $200,000 a year. The payout bled dry, and still $30,000 in debt. $30,000. Her pupils tightened. If she was going to wear this life, she would inherit the debt. So that was the ICK tax, not only a mole, but a loan. She sat in grief for a long minute. Then she encrypted the connection and searched a route from the bureau to Anning Street. Take the maglev line 13 straight from the bureau station to Anning. Bless the net. When in doubt, search it. The file said this raven used maglev by habit, so she would go home by maglev. The packet from Voss ran over 200 pages, hers in full plus others. Captain Marcus Hale, the members of Units Evan, she read herself closely and skimmed the rest, then killed the projection. She could read more later. At the sink, she washed her hands and looked at the mirror. Her face was white. In the glass, she caught a fire map on the wall, a layout of the bureau. She memorized the exits and left the restroom. Interim Ravenlock, are you unwell from surgery? Adam's voice again. You have been inside for a while, considering your condition. If you do not exit in 1 minute, I will alert the nearest staff to check if you have fainted. What? Even bathroom time was under watch. A little unwell, calm voice. Shall I call medical? No, I will go home and rest. Do you require escort? Thank you, she said aloud. I can manage. Things are not required. She chose to risk the maze alone. She found the elevator, rode it to the ground floor. A wide lobby, a front desk, beyond the glass doors, Rain. The door slid open when air rolled in. Rain warning, please take an umbrella, safe travels, Adam said. Thoughtful, she took a black umbrella from the rack and stepped into the rain. She looked up, neon bled into the sky. Steel and concrete rose like a forest, towers peered down like giants. Between them, maglev slid the sky rails like hunting snakes. Screens the size of buildings flashed ads in dizzy color. A skyship drifted by dragging a glowing banner. Holograms projected life's eyes actors into the air. A voice purred, Rick technology, forefront in bionics, we build the limb you deserve. Rain hammered her umbrella. She blinked the color out of her eyes. People rushed through the downpour, some in suits, some in threadbare layers, some glittered, some were ragged. In the rain, they were all soaked and equal. She scanned and saw the maglev sign. She walked. A handful waited at the stop. She melted into them. Many wore machine. The uncle beside her had a prosthetic hand with a tiny display strapped to its back. A girl to the right chewed gum. Both her legs were sleek metal. No one stared normal. 3 minutes later, the train breathed in and opened. One by one, faces passed the scanner, recognition, payment success again and again. Her turn, the machine chimed the same 2 lines, recognition, payment success. She let breath out and found a seat. Rained rue streaks down the glass. Neon pulsed in her pupils. This kind of blaze did not exist back home. It was a poppy, beautiful, and poisonous. She checked the band 2012. Night thickened, Black Sea did not sleep, neon and ads bloomed, rain could not drown this heat. She was an outsider. She studied the second world, every font on every ad, every drone, every airship. The train cut the rain, pierced a hologram, and the colors shifted in her eyes. I am here, she whispered, new world. The train pulled into Anning Street. She stepped out, the doors slid shut behind her, the view flipped. Anning Street was black, no neon, no ads, just low blocks. In the harsh white of corner stores, puddles pooled in broken asphalt. Compared to the Bureau's district, this was ruin, yet the ruin felt like home. Gleam, and glass shouted that she did not belong. The shabby quiet tugged like the old neighborhood she had slept in 4 years. Broken, dim, a shop downstairs with the light on far too late. She followed the map in her head. A bottle shattered at her feet, an old drunk slumped against a wall and slurred curses. 2 lines in and he slept. She stepped over glass and watched graffiti slide by on stained walls. Cops get out of our home, red letters trailed into a skull. Cops a spit of a word. Old movies had taught her that one. Anning Street did not love outsiders, especially enforcers, and the street's safety was trash, filth, tags, drunks in the open. The home feeling burned off. Back home, the block had been poor, not dirty. The trash truck came at dawn. Few people were out. She cut through a narrow alley, hunting her building. At the lip, she spotted a guy in a hoodie and lifted a hand to ask the way. 2 men slipped around the corner behind her and cut off retreat. They came in close and flashed knives, wallets. The hoodie glanced back, then ran like a rabbit. So much for Annie. She kept her voice level. I am broken, 30,000 in debt. Do I look worth your time? Silence. If you must rob, go uptown here. You will starve, she tried reason. If you hit a rich vein, you can eat for 3 years. Uptown is cameras, said Left Blade. Do not listen to her, his trite blade. She is playing. What would I gain by lying? She dropped the umbrella and spread her empty hands. I live in a leaky box. What can you get off me? Wait, Right Blade's eyes lit. He stared at her wrist. What is that band? Oh, you want to take it? She held out her hand. Right Blade hesitated. Left Blade stepped in. Her hand closed and snapped into a fist. She drove it into his temple. Crick. His skull ended. His face warped. He dropped like a cut wire. She froze. She had meant to stun him and run. Her body was not what it had been in high school scraps. She had left the other kid bruised and then nursed her swollen knuckles for 2 weeks. She had aimed at the softest spot, but this was unreal. Bone had felt like paper. She had felt the grit of it under her knuckles. Right Blade roared and stabbed for her gut. Her body slid a half step on instinct. The knife bit only air. In her eyes, his arm moved underwater before she could think she had his wrist than his blade. Silver flashed at her fingers. Her hand turned. The point slid between ribs and found the heart. She released the handle and stepped back so the few drops would not stain her clothes. From first move to last, it took less than 5 seconds. Before her mind could plan, her body had killed. She stared at the 2 bodies in the rain. The umbrella rolled on the ground. She squatted and checked their breath. Nothing. Their blood ran into the puddles and turned them red. What is happening? Her chest heaved. The system rose like a cold moon. You have unlocked inherent talent, combat instinct. Combat instinct, beasts hunt by instinct, training hones it. This is muscle memory forged by 1,000 drills and reflex carved by stimulus and pain, even half-conscious. You can fight on instinct. She hissed. This was not hers. It belonged to the body she wore. A mechanical dawn spied a trusted mole. She would need a mind as sharp and a blade as quick. A crash in the owlie's mouth. The hoodie had returned, white with shock. He gaped at the bodies. His metal bat slipped and clanged. Hey, good man. Ravenlock wiped train from her face and forced a stiff smile. Call this in. I am clean. You heard them. They tried to rob me. Okay, he fumbled out a comm. It took him 3 tries to dial. A woman's voice. City security hotline. How can we help? Robbery, the address is. He stalled. He looked to Raven. Where is this? Harbor District, Anning Street, midsection. He gave the location and an ambulance. No need, they are dead. He blanched. You did this. Justified defense, she said. Will you testify? There are no cameras. You are the only witness. He hesitated for less than a second. Yes. Thank you. She picked up the umbrella and tilted it to cover him too. He flinched back. Share the umbrella. The response may take a while, she said. I am Ravenlock, Black Sea Academy. Liam Cross, hearing Academy, took the edge off his fear. I am Black Sea Academy 2, mechanical engineering. Forensics, she said. No wonder you fight like that, he muttered. Thank you. She angled the umbrella more his way. Just doing a good deed. He put a hand on the bat. My parents. Stores around the corner. I heard the shout and ran to get the bat. If they need a statement, I must tell my parents. I am safe. Wait here. She nodded and watched him vanish into the rain. She opened the band and searched to name Lei Feng. Taro results. So this world had no Lei Feng, no story everyone knew. I was right, she thought. Liam was a player from the first world. He had likely just arrived. No fluency yet. That was why he had fumbled the call. He did not know the district name or had lost it under fear. He was green enough to say good deed like a catch-tross that did not exist here. Old world, old village. But the council had said, tell no one you are a player. No, she kept it. She would reveal nothing, not to natives, not to players. Treat this as role play, play it well. She waited 10 minutes. Liam returned, drenched with a second umbrella. My, this rain, no sign of a break. I told my dad, the unit is on the way. 5 minutes later, a police drone braked above them. A loud hailer barked, dropped weapons, hands on head. They complied. The drone came down. 2 officers disembarked, ray dot steady on Raven. I am Ravenlock, Bureau trainee, Unit 7. She said, quick, robbery on my way home. I defended myself. The woman leveled her eyes and said, Adam, scan. Scan complete, face match, truthful, hello, intern Ravenlock. Liam Cross, citizen grade 4, student, Black Sea Academy, mechanical department, no record, low threat. Gavin Doyle, citizen grade 5, unemployed robbery and theft priors, deceased, no value in retrieval. Owenshaw, citizen grade 5, unemployed, theft and vandalism priors, deceased, no value in retrieval. The officers holstered their weapons. Statement time, come with us. Okay, she glanced at Liam, he is the witness. Good, do not worry, the woman patted Raven's shoulder, we will be quick. That tone had a drift too light for two dead men, as if her badge gave her a shield, as if no discipline would touch her. Why? On the ride back, Liam sat beside her. So you had pull, he whispered. You could have said so, I was sweating for nothing. No pull, just a broke trainee with a 30,000 debt, she said. I had clocked out, did not make it home, then got called back. It was the body, not me, she thought. Marcus Hale stared across his desk at her and sighed. Overtime, Captain Roven said. 3 minutes to go, then you, he paused, tell me everything. I was heading home. Robbers my body, it moved, I killed them, she said. Will I be disciplined? No, he waited. They carried records. You defended yourself. You wear a bureau badge. Even as a trainee, you hold exemption. If harm occurs in the line of duty, you do not carry legal risk. We can process in-house. If we kick it outside, it means forms too much work. I was not in the line, she began. You were. His eyes shut the door. I see. Autopsy report delivered, said Adam. Display, Marcus said. Hologram projectors swung. 2 bodies lay on cold steel. One skull crushed, the other with a neat slit in the chest. She dropped her gaze. Gavin Doyle, death by cranial collapse, temple struck by blunt force, bone fragments pierced the brain, time of death under 1 hour. Oh, Unshaw, death by heart puncture, blade slipped between the 3rd and 4th left ribs and pierced the heart, single strike, time of death similar. Marcus raised a brow, he saw her face. So you do feel it, first time is never nothing. How could it be nothing? Her hand covered her eyes, her stomach pitched. When it happened, she had been numb. Now, with Adam's flat reading, the images looped back. Do not on my carpet. The restroom is left, he said. Your basics are tight. I saw your intake scores, tracking, sparring, field forensics, marksmanship, almost perfect. You are the best we have seen in years. He set a cup of ice water in her hand, drink. She swallowed. Cold pushed the heat down. You should have gone to criminal investigations. I pulled you. Field is harder. We face it head on. Ambushes, blood, even death, he said. If you cannot settle in, transfer after your internship. She did not answer. I hope you stay. We need fresh blood. Do you live on Anning? Yes. Move, he said. Gangs, murders, contraband, the worst nests are there. I have no money, she said. The apartment is my parents'. Tuition took loans. I owe 30,000. It will take forever to pay. He said nothing for a moment. When you pass probation, you can apply for housing, he added. Your private comm broke last stop you. Can I claim loss? It was work. He smiled. No. He dug out a box. This is the standard issue for full members. Basic model, use it. Thank you. She could not help herself. Are all captains as soft as you? If not, I am not leaving Unit 7. He coughed. If the blood weighs heavy, see psychology, drive Orion Kate is good. Liam was a lump on a lobby chair. His statement was done. He waited. The unit had strapped him to a truth cradle, asked their questions, and waved him out. He waited for Raven. 10 minutes later, she stepped out of the elevator. You are still here, waiting. Then go. The trains stop at midnight. He bobbed his head. He had no idea how to pay, no idea where to walk. He needed a guide. He watched Traven. She also lived on Anning. At the station, he gaped at everything. When a hologram poured over the street, he sucked air in. Which year, she asked, white as a feather, and filed his answers. Freshman. The admission came this morning. Mechanical department, he said. Tuition is not cheap. Have a loan lined up, she said, still testing, but casual. I walk that road. Avoid sharks. Okay, how much is not cheap? Over 200,000 a year without rent and food. What? His voice cracked. They should wear masks. How many bright kids does that shut out? She watched him lower his volume and mutter, off the chart. Rules are rules. Do you have a lead on a loan? Bank, if they will give one. The interest hurts. How do I even go to school, he said. The second world was a market, no profit, no charity. The train came. He tried to pay. The machine spat him back. Balance insufficient. Again, same line. She paid for him on me. Thanks for the trip back. He looked ready to cry. I am broke. Will I even get in? Work hard, she said. Poor meat spore. She understood. Back home she had sweated rent and tuition too, even if the number was kinder than 200,000. At Anning, he said, it is not safe for you to walk alone. I should. Never mind. You do not need me. Go. I can manage, she waved. See, you. Contact info, please. She added him on the new device. He fumbled. They exchanged. The rain kept on. She walked turns until she found the block. The paint peeled and flaked. The hallway smelled of mold. Rusted gates squealed at a touch. Third floor, she took the handle. Fingerprint verified. The door opened. A warning pricked the back of her neck. A silhouette sat on the couch. A silver mask covered the face. Eyes watched her through its cutouts. You are late. Like he knew her. Trouble on the way, she said without a scene. Have you read the chip from the chief? Said Silver Mask. No, keep the answers lean. Lean words bleed less. The chief says this mission must be done at any cost, he rose. From today I am your partner in Black Sea. My codename is Silverface. Pick a codename for yourself. A codename, her mind spun. Pick one far from your nature, he said. So far no one can't eye it to you. Rich lady. He paused. What? Rich lady. It fit. It was the farthest thing from her. It held a hope. Fine, he said. Rich lady, then read the brief. She set the blue chip on the band. First line, mission, destroy the Black Sea port completely. What? What was wrong with these people in that port? She flipped the pages. Mission, obliterate the port and stop the Kraken from docking. That is Plan A. Plan A must be done before August 11. After that, the Kraken enters Black Sea waters and you fail. Plan B, board the Kraken in secret and rig charges, sink it at sea. Plan B must be completed before August 11 when the Kraken reaches Black Sea waters. Final objective, prevent the Kraken from entering Black Sea. Repeat, prevent the Kraken from entering Black Sea. Urgency rolled off the lines. What was the Kraken? Why was Mechanical Dawn ready to shatter a city's artery to stop it? A bulk carrier, not strange, the cargo was the point. What could be so feared that they would order bombs on port and ship to keep it out? She read on. Harbor District Pier 5, Warehouse D6308 is replenished with arms on a schedule. Take what you need. Ruby Bar on Peace Avenue is a safe house with med gear and a bench. Small arms and ammo are replenished on schedule. The pass line is, pour me a deep blue. Hunter's Range in the north can supply funds. Rick Technologies' third floor Bionics Lab can provide tech support. The more she read, the colder she felt. Mechanical Dawn was big. 1. They could use a pier warehouse as an armory. 2. They had numbers thick enough to need a public safe house. 3. They had money in a purse keeper. 4. Rick Technology was likely theirs or their mask. Silverface watched her questions. I am counting how many lives it will take. Will 100 be enough, she said dry. Execute, his voice was flat. Even if we pile bodies, if we keep what is on the Kraken from Black Sea, it is worth it. If we die, others will carry it to August 11. Cult vibes, he sounded thoroughly washed. She checked the time, year 20 Itexis, July 28, Zaro 23. Under 2 weeks, he said. I will draft a plan, she said, but I also have a job. The Bureau is not easy to fool. Dogs of the syndicates, he snorted. You pull intel, I pull triggers. We can plan together. She nodded. I will do my thing, she said. Make yourself at home. She did not know the rules of partner etiquette in this outfit. Make yourself at home should end it. She did have work to do. She walked the rooms under his eyes. Sunroom, bedroom, a small wardrobe, a second room stacked with junk to dying plants on the balcony. The kitchen held pans and a scarred fridge with some food. The place looked lived in. Its owner was dead. She was the cuckoo. She grabbed a towel and clean clothes and shut the bathroom door. Silverface stared, then snapped his gaze away and sat properly, hands on knees like a schoolboy. Fine, things were already bad. She would not strip away what comfort she could have if she died. Until then she would fight. Maybe she would bounce all the way to the end. She was a mole, an actor. She would be this Ravenlock, a top student, a new hire, a young woman who took a hot shower after rain. Water drummed, she whispered to herself again and again and kept her mind cold. 20 minutes later, she stepped out and found Silverface still there. He looked once and looked away. She rubbed her hair. Your next move is? Stand by. Stand by here. He was not leaving. She turned to the kitchen and took food from the fridge. Her stomach gnawed. The kitchen was mercifully low-tech. Gas a pot noodles. He stared openly. His stomach growled. Want some? She asked. Yes. Too fast. She threw in another handful of noodles and cracked 2 eggs. A detail, he took the offer with zero caution, which meant he trusted her or he was naive. The pot was done. She set a bowl on the table. Serve yourself. He opened his hand. The noodles and the other egg floated, carried by water, and slid into a bowl. Not a drop spilled. Her chopsticks twitched. Power. He had power. He sat, lifted his hands, and took off the mask. Snow white skin, white lashes, brows, hair, eyes, pale pink, thin red veins on his neck and cheeks. Without the pink, he would have been a ghost. He frowned. What are you staring at? Never seen albinism. It was not the albinism she watched. It was the casual show of a gift. I thought you would not take off the mask to eat. How would I eat with it on? He said. That is your problem. You think I wear it to look cool. I did not say that. He yelped when the noodles burned his lip, then lifted the mask with a gesture and bobbed it in the air to cool. Then he inhaled it, like a piglet at a trough. Wash the bowls, she said to see if he would bog. He did not. He opened the tap. Less water. It is expensive. He swore softly. Why do you care? This is not your place. It is not your bill. Play the role. Details matter. In public and alone, you do not get it. He leased the water and did the chore. His gift seemed tied to water. He had not floated the bowls, only the flow. She had played it safe when he first appeared. She had feared he might be close to the original, but from one line at dinner he had told her this was their first meet. Never seen albinism, he had said. The original had not seen his face. That let her breathe. If her partner had known the original well, she would have cracked in 5 lines. Fortune for once. And he was powerful. If she killed him, would she strip his gift? Silver face, be good or you will end up as rich lady's toy. You are not what the rumors say, he said. Am I? She kept it bland. Rumor says you are cold as a machine, precise as a computer, a harsh executor, gift less, but the mind of the group. She laughed once, no humor in it. He met her eyes for a beat and looked away. Orders, he tossed a water globe from palm to palm. We have under 2 weeks. In their pair she held the decision and he the execution. In the cell she sat higher. Go to the port, work the bomb sites, she said. She had thought it through. The port was a nest. The blasts could be gang wars, or not. Mechanical Dawn could have started 1 round already to block the Kraken. Recon was required. What exactly? Flow, site, monitoring. The blasts were not 1, he said. All of it. You are too cautious, he muttered. Fine, I go now. If anything breaks and you are out of reach, I act and report. Good. He set the mask, lifted the hood, opened the balcony window, and his body became a coil of clear water and spilled into the rain. She closed the window against the spray. With him out, she could plan. She had been the queen of planners in school. She would plan this. She wrote on paper, pen against pulp, focused her mind to primary threats. 1. Mechanical Dawn. 2. The Bureau. Undercover at the Bureau was lethal, but she had a file to eat. She would cram it. The life called Ravenlock, the relationships, the habits. Amnesia buys time, not safety. At work, she would keep her head down. Do not fight, do not grab, do not stand out. Listen, watch, learn. Mechanical Dawn was the sharper blade. There was no file. She knew nothing. Not the origin, not the chief, not her exact role. She would have to infer. Silverface was hers. Thankfully, he did not know the original. He felt young. He could be managed. Then, missions. Mission 1, investigate the port bombing system issued. Mission 2, stop the Kraken. Mechanical Dawn issued. She drew across through Mission 2. Bomb a port, sink a ship, suicide. This was a real game. No saves, 1 life, not worth a blind bet. She thought through Mission 1. The bombing's likely tied to the Kraken. Did the Bureau see the pattern? She smelled a third party. Not just one group trying to crater the piers. She drew a map. 1. The Bureau. Guard the port. Hunt the culprits. 2. Mechanical Dawn. Blow the port. The brief had landed tonight. Blasts had already happened. Who did those? Gang war was normal in Black Sea, but the system would not trigger on a normal blast. There had to be a difference. She wrote, third party, unknown, likely linked to the Kraken. Then another line, or the third party was still Mechanical Dawn, another cell, a failed run. Silverface had said others would carry the mission if they died. Multiple cells fit. She looked at the page until the lines burned. Everything turned on the Kraken. She'd tore the paper into shreds and flushed it. The lever was the Kraken. Find the cargo, find why Mechanical Dawn feared it. She searched the net. Kraken bulk carrier. Built in 20 Itexus, first year in service, deadweight 800,000 tons, largest bulk carrier in the world. Bulk carriers move what boxes cannot: sand, oil, coal. What was on it? Too little data. She opened the blue chip again, no details on cargo. Hard. She blinked, opened the system, and saw a small gift: mission progress 5%. They breadcrumb right path. Her chest uncoiled. Small progress felt like solving a math proof. Better than a proof, a hair shy of getting paid. She fell back on the hard bed and rubbed her eyes. No sleep. She switched the band and studied. Textbooks on forensics sat on the desk. She read the cell's files and the bureau's profiles as if cramming for finals. Night bled into dawn. The rain never stopped. At 9, the balcony window scraped. Silverface climbed in, soaked. A red line on his cheek hurt. Hey, you, he began. My name is not Hay. Use the Codename. She eyed the wet prints. You are dripping on the floor. Rich lady, I am hurt. Med kit. He sank on the couch and lifted his shirt. 3 long gouges across his chest, deep, yet he had not bled out. He moved like a man with nothing more than a stitch. She looked down. The drops he tracked were clear. No blood. His shirt was ripped, but the stain was small. More of them are out there, he said through his teeth as he cleaned with peroxide and wrapped his own bandage. More than before. I met 3. Monsters. That was new. Her teeth wanted her lip. There was too much he did not know. Last night she had learned how to pay by face. How to ride a train, how to shop, a crash course in the Second World's history, the Federation, the tech boom, the push-off planet, and events that mattered. Liam had warned her not to be green. She could not make his mistakes. Clean the water you brought in, she said to cover her unease. He glared. If my power were not water, I would be dead. You did not help with the bandage and you nagged my floor. He sat, pale breath shaking. Tell me, she said. You were right to send me. The sights were hot. The bureau had patrols, hard to scan, but I scraped 8. He tossed a metal sphere. It opened in her hand and projected a scene. Blast radius 30 meters, likely a homemade petrol bomb. To crude, if Mechanical Dawn had turned a warehouse into an armory, their cells would not toss bottles, they would use proper munitions. Not Dawn then, a third hand. She flicked another sight, smaller radius, bottle, ethanol fuel. Sight after sight, the same cheap signature. The earlier blast wave had not been Dawn. After I had it, I heard a scream. He said, a patrolman was dead. It was planting eggs in his body. I burned it. The partner ran up and saw me. I killed him too, clean both. First creature, she said. You said 3. The second came for me. It had eaten a dock worker thin and wanted a new host. It tried to take me. He grimaced disgusting. That is when it cut me. Third, climbing from the sea, a weak juvenile, easy. A sea thing that crawled up to lay eggs in bodies. It had killed a trained officer and hurt a gifted man. Power and filth both lived here. She should have expected it. We should report it. They were air. Suddenly more, he said. Her calm hummed. Marcus Hale. Captain, how was the hit? What happened? Jason Rourke and Heath unward of Unit 6 were hit on port patrol last night, he said. We are short. If you are steady, you are on shift. I will be in tomorrow morning. He hung up. Silverface had killed the partner. The bureau was bleeding. Her 3 days were now 1. If you go to the port, it gets easier for me to move, he said, almost pleased. Easier to plan charges. Good thing I killed the man. He was one of yours. Yes, because you killed one of us. The bureau is short and I lose rest, she said. On shift means time with the team, less time with you. He blinked. I did not think it was an accident. I do not expect you to. She rubbed her brow. It is not your fault. Plans bend. If you cannot reach me, act and report. Okay. She needed sleep. She had read until dawn. I have things to do. Do not move until you heal. Wait, he said. What? I am hungry. Any food? None. Order in order for me to. Fine. Half an hour later, the bell rang. A delivery kid in a poncho. Hey, it is you, senior. Work study, she raised a brow. Yes, earn, pay school. May not be enough. Liam handed over the bags. Next run is hot, see you. She shut the door. Who is he? Said Silverface. Black Sea Academy, my role is the same. Mechanical, we need that talent, his family. Poor, parents run a store. Got it, you know him well, you have marked him for recruitment. Mechanical, Dawn recruited. Not yet, she said. You are right. We will watch first, he said. The poor are easiest. Offer a small handout and bind them. Report both, the creatures and the boy named Liam Cross, she said. You draft? He swallowed it. I will write it. I am resting anyway. He wrote a clean report. She adjusted nothing and sent it. She learned the format. He did not write monster. He wrote heteromorphism. She filed that term. She went to bed. He curled on the couch with a thin blanket. A white tuft of hair stuck out like a kitten that thought it hid well. He was obedient and gifted, and otherwise a clueless cat. She skimmed the Bureau's files, hunting for hetero forms. In the last pages, she found a line, Bureau Emergency Group, leader unknown, floating roster, office in sublevel 3, their mandate to quietly erase hetero forms. Secrets within the Bureau, oddities in the world. Not much time left, she dropped the band on the table and forced sleep. She slept 8 hours. The alarm dragged her up. She washed and changed. She cupped cold water and slapped her face. Fear freezes feet. She could not freeze. As she stepped out, she caught Silverface dragging bags through the window. I bought groceries. Delivery is too expensive. Then we should eat, she said, fridge. She cooked something simple, he washed. My wounds are fine. Orders, he said. Fast healer. Was that a general rule for gifts or his alone? None for now, she said, putting on her shoes. If I draw port patrol, I will tell you. If not, stand by, move as you see fit. She shut the door. Black Sea in daytime, lost its neon skin, always gray under the rain. At the Bureau, Adams said, welcome back, intern Ravenlock. Please return the umbrella. She rode up and knocked. Come, Marcus said. 4 or 5 of units. Evan filled the room. Eyes turned. Enough sit, Raven, mission brief, he said, and brought up a 3D portrait. Our target, Jace Mercer, Sidis ungrade 6, a convicted murderer. He was not in prison due to mental disease. He was under care at the city psychiatric hospital. He said last night he escaped. He assaulted his therapist and fled. How? A man on her left asked, is the therapist alive? Minor injuries, Marcus said. As for how, Adam thinks he awakened. He has a gift, the team stirred. Non-lethal category, no violence at the scene, likely used his gift to escape, he said. We bring him in. If he threatens civilians or escalates, we put him down. I have a question, Raven said. Was his state stable? Any signs or changes before the incident? Yes. Marcus frowned. The hospital sent us his sessions. He insists he is not from Black Sea. He insists on a city called Jinling. Worse than unstable. Someone snorted. They laughed. Raven did not. Jinling, the escapee, was a player. Play the footage, Marcus said. Adam obeyed. A white room, a therapist at a desk, Jace Mercer strapped to a chair. Hollow cheeks, beard, shadow, deep eyes. He strained against the bands with clenched fists. I am Jace Mercer, yes, but I am not from here. I did not kill anyone. I am not a criminal. I am not sick. I understand, Mr. Chai. Please stay calm. The therapist retreated and tapped an alarm under the desk. What do you understand? I am not lying. I am not a criminal. I did not kill, Jace shouted. I hear you. The therapist's hand stayed under the desk. Bull, I slept and woke up here. I am Jace Mercer, from Jinling. I did not kill, he howled. Lawyer. I want a lawyer, call the police. You are grade 6. Right strip, you cannot appeal. We cannot get you a lawyer. Eat dirt. He jerked, broke the bands, and lunged. Guards burst in and pinned him. I am not a criminal, he panted through a twisted mouth. A needle hit his neck, he said. Raven watched. Her opening hand had been rough, but not this cruel. Liam's was bare survival, Jace's was a nightmare. He had panicked himself blind. If he had slowed and called the system, he would have seen his panel and lived quiet in the hospital until old age. But he had run. That gave the unit license to shoot him dead. His trail is dirty, no trade, no transport. Adam tracked him in the north. He tried to buy food 1 hour ago. His account is frozen. Marcus said he is likely in the shanty's few cameras, best place to hide. His mind is unstable. His gift is not lethal, but unknown, he said. We will run mixed tactics. I go with Jiang Ming and Connor Reyes. Alan Pierce runs drones. Raven, you are our long rifle good? Long rifle bad. Her silence read as nerves. If it goes smooth, we will not need the rifle. You are our backstop. Your marksmanship tests were perfect. I trust you. Can you do it, rookie? Her neighbor smirked. Alan Pierce, the tech, if she remembered right. I am fine, Captain. She stepped into it. Good. Gear up, Marcus said. The gear room smelled of oil and powder. The racks glittered with steel. She matched her team. Armor, helmet, sidearm to spare mags, a short blade with a matte edge. The helmet was open in back. She set it on. The long rifle, K80, towered over the rack in pieces. Her scalp prick laid. She stared at the parts. What? Alan leaned. Assemble and go. Captain says you shoot perfect. I've never seen you put one together. Show me. She shut her eyes for a heartbeat and put her hands on the metal. Barrel, receiver, brake, bipode, lugs, glass. Her fingers flew. The rifle woke and locked into itself with a satisfying click. Alan's jaw hung. The last pin slid in. Her fingertips trembled once. Combat instinct had folded rifles into its library. She should not lean on it forever. The forensic textbooks waited on the desk at home. They left the room. Adam lit a yellow trail to the top deck. Captain is at the pad. Your helmet is off, said Alan. No hands. The K-80 was heavy. Her new body took it and moved. Do not call me Little Way, she added. You can call me Little Land. He laughed and reached to the side of her helmet. Greened 8, a filled her view, Adam whispered. Hello, intern. I will filter traffic and feed you wind, speed, ambient humidity, obstacles, range, elevation, and the Coriolis model. Wow. The elevator took them up. The rain pounded the pad. Marcus stood by a long black car. Move. Yes, Captain. They lifted. Check your safeties, said Connor. Every time John sighed. Alan twisted in his seat. He once shot our own car out of the sky. We almost fell. Robin checked her safety without thinking. Do not tense. Hold the rifle. Aim. Breathe, Marcus said. Yes, Captain. 30 minutes of rain. Arrived. Optimal perch. North District. Free Square Tower. Raven and Alan climbed 230 meters. Clear sight lines, Adam said. Go, Marcus said. They ran the stairs. At the top she set the bipode, went to a knee, and kissed the glass. Alan cracked a metal case. 5 drones the size of fists rose and cut into the rain. These are force can, not weapons. Too dangerous in a neighborhood. The rifle is cleaner, he said. Adam can run them, but splitting the work saves its cycles for faster return. She said nothing. She traced the streets, found her own team, memorized their arcs. Target found, Adam cut in, Alan swung the drones. Raven snapped the rifle, Adam marked the path. A thin figure sprinted through her scope, a man with a stole and loaf in his teeth, barefoot, desperate, absurd. Range 986.2, wind 2.3, angle data climbed, she set the aim. Kept in coordinates, sent. Alan said the target is running toward the tower. Received, Marcus said. Reverend tracked Jace Mercer. He slid in the mud. He fell. He got up. He looked back. Wait, she said. You said he has no counter tracking. Captain was far when he ran. He did not run from the captain. Alan blinked. His gift. No, watch his head. He looks behind, not to the southwest where the team is behind. He is running from something else. Sounds clever. Alan splitted Roan back, dropped it to sewer level, and scanned. Nothing. Buildings, flow, dirt. No anomaly, Alan said. You were jumpy. Her temple ticked. Danger sense prick laid. Unidentified mass moving in the sewer at 5.9 meters per second. Adam snap. Scan complete. Parasitic hydra. Level 3. Repeat. Level 3. Alan swore. His fingers danced. They will die. We did not bring the right tools. What is a parasitic hydra? Raven asked. Cold fingernails walking her spine. Back the hill off. Armor will not hold, guns will not kill it, Marcus said. John, get the car, there is a flame harbor we press. Copy. Raven wiped the glass and held on. She abandoned the sewer lids and locked on Jace. If the thing chased him, he would draw it out. He was a lab mouse, a live lore thrown into the pond. He slipped on a bend and fell. The ground bulged and split. It came up screaming. Her eyes went wide. Half-transparent arms with the air. The body was human and wrong. The arms had burst from the nose, the mouth, the eyes, the ears they writhed at random. Jace shrieked, "Help, I only stole a loaf." The arms wound his throat and squeezed. Marcus and Connor came up firing, arms popped and fell and still squirmed. Raven woke. She put the crosshair on the chest and broke the trigger. The shot dug a crater at its feet. "Damn," she said. "You forgot the wind," Adam said. "Rain light, 1 to 0.1, range 7 to 2.3. "Shut up," she growled at Alan as he opened his mouth. She breathed, fired again. The round chewed a hole through its chest, no blood, only dry, shriveled meat that blew apart. She did not celebrate. She emptied the magazine in a clean rhythm. Head, abdomen, shoulder, spine, knees, the body folded into a rag of sticks. She slammed a fresh mag and held. It flopped. It reached for Jace. He blinked a meter away under a street light. Teleport, gift after all. She pinned to more arms to the ground. The police car dropped, a tongue of flame reaching. The thing shrank from the heat. It went mad, it lashed, caught the car with 3 arms, dragged it, jammed it into the flame nozzle, and the tank blew. It cut its own arms and flung itself at Jace. It wrapped him, it poured itself into him. His eyes flipped, his neck bulged, his chest swelled, his body warped. Marcus raised a pistol, the slide clicked on an empty chamber. Connor shook his head, empty. "It is vulnerable mid-transfer, kill Jace Mercer," Alan said fast. "Now, it cannot seat a corpse." In seconds, Jace's body was a puppet. The Hydra climbed into him. Raven set the glass on his skull and broke the trigger. The shot spun through the rain. His head opened like a red flower. The body fell. "You have killed Deputy Jace Mercer. You have stripped his extraordinary ability. You have gained Shadow. Step Ranky. Shadow Step Ranky slipped through shadows for short-range jumps." The echo of the shot filled her skull. Her finger twitched. Now she knew why this game was called Crimson Soil. Why is the land red? Because it is soaked in blood. The Hydra's arm stiffened, then sagged. The transparent bulk melted like a jellyfish, slumping over the body and turning to gel. It died without a host. Jiang's voice rattled through the channel. He was alive but pinned in the car. Raven watched Marcus and Connor drag him out. "Beautiful work," Alan clapped her shoulder. "Pack it, we are going down. Pick up his en route." He stopped. Her hand shook on the rifle. She had not moved since the shot. "You okay?" He held her shoulder and helped her stand. "I am." She drove the K-80's muzzle into the roof and pushed herself upright. Her legs were numb. The last time had felt unreal. This time she had chosen and watched. "Do not carry it," Alan said softly. "He killed his wife and child. He deserved the rope. The law is soft. You cleaned the rot and the Hydra would have killed him anyway." That missed the target. This Jace was not that Jace. The player had worn Inner's face. She lifted the rifle and walked down the stairs. "Meet the team." The mission was over. Jace was dead. The accident was contained. The pickup would take them home. She took off the helmet. Rain reeled her hair flat. She looked up at the sky and breathed out. "I have never heard of heteroforms," she asked Alan. "What are they?" "Emergency group business. You are a trainee. Not your lane," he said. "When you pass probation, you will learn today was an accident. We mostly do normal crime." "You said they should be at the shore." "They hate drying out. It must be the rain. The sea rose, and they had a tunnel in the storm drains." "How are they born?" "I do not know," he said. "Usually Adam flags them early and the group cleans them, sometimes a month without a call, sometimes 3 in a week." "Does the group always face this kind of danger?" "Not always," he said. "It is a floating roster. They borrow from other units. I once." "Enough." Marcus cut the channel. "When she is full-time, be a good senior, not now." "Sure, forget it, little way," Alan grinned. "Some of it is under seal." "I know. Shared fire builds bonds." "Our people are here," Marcus said. "Bring the car. John needs a surgeon." Adam answered. Jiang's arm was broken, his thigh burned. I'm getting a new arm, bonus of pain. Good idea, Alan said. I hear little Wei got a metal head, jealous. Does it stop rounds? You should get one. Voss did good work, Raven said. After I wear out the stock model. The car lifted. Raven sat in the back, the K-80 lake old on her legs. How does it feel, Connor asked. Bad, she said. Normal, he said. My first was worse. You almost shot me, John grinned. Weak, Raven did better. Color climbed Connor's ears. He went quiet. Do not roast him. The man opens his mouth once a day, Alan laughed. The unit loosened, she drifted. At the pad, the med team took John. The rest showered. Marcus waved Raven down the hall. Psychology, he said. I am fine. Bodies rest. Minds need help. This has been a lot. You need a guide. He said, Dr. Ryan Cade is on shift. She hesitated. The door opened. Welcome, a man's voice, velvet and low, Ravenlock, Marcus, and I go back. His badge read Orion Cade. Hello, doctor. Sit, this is a room to relax. It was warm light, books, wood floors, paper on shelves. Tea or something fizzy, he smiled. I have the drinks kids like. The open shelf behind him held glass jars of every sort of tea, bright flower blends, green tea, black tea. Tea, anything is fine, Ravenlock said. Orion Cade tapped the boil button, then said, I will make you a cup of goji and raid date tea. I drink this every day. Ravenlock stayed silent. So young and already into tonic tea, she thought. He moved with practice, goji berries and raid dates into the pot, a lump of brown sugar into a ceramic cup. He slid the cup to her and said, Do you like the decor of my office? I do. It is different from the other rooms, Ravenlock sipped. I hate the color of metal, too cold. Staring at it for long makes me feel pressed down, Orion Cade said. In this era, more people carry mental strain. Life worships efficiency, reason, tightness. We are always wrapped in metal and machinery. No one relaxes, so I changed the therapy room, made it warm and with some feeling. This place is good, Ravenlock said. Do we not start the counseling now? This is counseling. We are here to talk, to ease the load, Orion Cade said. The Bureau's work is hard, yes? It is fine. I am new. The captain takes care of me, Ravenlock said dry. You can speak your trouble to me, Orion Cade said. Ravenlock, those who make field unit are not passive people. When you find a problem, move first to solve it. Do not become passive. Ravenlock paused. I do have a trouble. She lowered her eyes, drank, set down the cup. I used to think I was active. I studied hard, got into college, worked to make money, but lately I have become passive. Passivity often comes from not fixing a goal, Orion Cade said. What is your goal? Have you settled it? Ravenlock said, not sure, to be rich. Orion Cade smiled. See, even you are unsure, a goal should fill you with force the instant you say it. Your tone should be firm and clear, not wavering. Ravenlock frowned. It is hard to set a goal, I know. I had a long fog at university before I knew what I wanted, Orion Cade said. You can take your time. Okay, Ravenlock nodded. Let us focus on the present first, Orion Cade said. Your captain told me you do not adapt well to having to kill. Ravenlock come late. Tell me what it felt like, Orion Cade said. Hurting a non-human and hurting a human feels different. Do you know that feeling, Drive Orion Cade, Ravenlock said. Heteroforms are the other, so you fire without burden, but facing humans you struggle to fire with reason. Yes, Orion Cade said. Ravenlock did not nod and did not shake her head. In Ravenlock's view, she and Jace Mercer are the same kind, and she and Liam Cross are the same kind. In the second world, every besides players is the other in her eyes. I killed the same kind, Ravenlock said. Even knowing I did nothing wrong, I still cannot quite let it go. Human empathy ensures you will feel this way. As an officer, you are bound to manage and fight this emotion. Orion Cade said, now let us run a thought case, Ravenlock. If there had been no heteroform in that op, no parasitic Hydra threat, what would you have done with Jace Mercer? Ravenlock did not think at all. She said, if he raised a weapon, I would blow the hand holding it. If he kept resisting, I would take the other hand. If no hands, then legs, until he lost the ability to resist, then the captain could arrest him. You never once considered a direct kill, Orion Cade said. You only aimed to strip his ability to resist, yes? Ravenlock nodded. You are a kind person, Ravenlock, Orion Cade said. You will face many cases like this, he began. I am already trying to keep empathy on a leash, Ravenlock cut in. It will happen often. I am working on it. "You are also strong, Ravenlock," Orion Cade said, mild. She stayed 2 hours in the therapy room, drank 3 cups of goji and red date tea, and at his warm insistence even went to the staff canteen with him for lunch. When she left, Orion Cade thoughtfully handed her a full jar of goji and red dates. "Drink more, it builds ki and blood. Your face is pale, you look anemic." Ravenlock accepted with a helpless nod, hugged the jar, and went back to the restroom. It was afternoon. Lunch break had passed. She set the jar down and headed for Unit 7's training fields, whether full member or intern if not in the field you trained, shooting and hand-to-hand were the core. She took the lift to Sublevel 1, the entire floor was training halls. At the door, she gave an iris. "Chan." Adam said, "Intern Ravenlock, you may use Onze and be for basic training. Others' owns are not yet authorized." Interns and full members had a gap. Ravenlock did not care, she would not use the advanced gear anyway. She had come to gauge her handle on firearms. So Nay held the shooting rooms. She stepped in, saw a few people, and took an open lane. "Please choose a training weapon," Adam said. "Standard sidearm," Ravenlock said. The metal table in front of her parted without a sound. A matte black pistol lay on the surface. Ravenlock picked it up, considered, disassembled it, memorized the parts, then reassembled it piece by piece. She raised the gun and pointed in her most natural stance. 3-meter target, she said. 3-meter target set, Adam answered. She barely aimed, she let her hands run the shot, bang, bang, bang. A string of fire, every round on paper, none wild, every hit within the A-tray. The recoil was a bit more than she expected, the web of her hand tingled. She had no feel yet for the score. She swapped a mag and said, 10-meter target. 10-meter target set, Adam said. Further now, most eyes would struggle to see the rings at all. Ravenlock settled, raised the gun. This time she aimed with intent. She squeezed once. Bang! 10 ring, dead center. Ravenlock's brow eased. Adam, 15-meter target. She ran multiple passes, the distance step by step to 25 meters. Every time her worst hit never slipped outside the 7 ring. Her fingertips buzzed, but her body and mind felt clear, as if every worry and weight had left her with each shot. Combat instinct helped, but she had a talent for marksmanship too. Each volley sharpened her sense of the weapon. Training was how she made metal her own. Back in the pod, her status had raid inherent talents, performance persona, life tenacity, danger sense, quick study. There she had unlocked combat instinct as well, and one extraordinary ability, shadow step rank E. Performance persona, you act so well you can fool most people. Life tenacity, you cling to life like a cockroach. Danger sense, you sense danger and step aside. Quick study, every skill comes faster. Combat instinct, your fighting craft and patterns are carved into your body. Shadow step rank E, slip through shadows for short jumps. Jace Mercer had used shadow step to escape the hospital. His rank was low and the activation failed often. That was why he could not run from the Hydra. Ravenlock cared about one question: how do awakenings happen, luck or something else? Her teammates had been shocked that Jace Mercer awake, and so awakeners were air, not street common. When she first crossed, Dr. Leonard Voss, also a mechanical Don Mole, had said there were awake and inside the Bureau. He had named the head of criminal investigations in particular. Be careful, he had said. That captains likely power lie detection. Thus, the Bureau probably kept powers and awakening status classified. Even co-workers did not know each other's gifts. And a long-time staffer like Dr. Leonard Voss only had guesses, nothing firm. What irked Ravenlock, there was no safe hidden place inside the Bureau to test Shadow Step. And at home Silver Face waited, no chance there either. Shadow Step was a good edge. If she ever landed in prison, she might use it to break out. Jace Mercer had used it to slip a locked hospital. Jail time would be a better end. The Federation had no death penalty. With luck, there is always a crack to pry. The worst end was exposure and a cleanup by former teammates. She set the pistol down and moved to Zone B. Zone B held the fighting rigs. Several officers in pads and gloves were sparring. Ravenlock did not want a partner. She wanted the machines to show her force. In the corner, a punching dynamometer waited. She had read in First World magazines that Tyson's right could hit 800 pounds, Bruce Lee around 350. Weight mattered, Tyson weighed almost twice Lee. Pure punch testing never tells the whole story. Combat power has many inputs, but it does reflect raw strength. What was my last number? Raven Locke asked. Your last punch test was 215 pounds, Adam said. That was intern Raven Locke's number, not the original owner's, so she should go conservative with a first strike, avoid a jump that would look odd. She said, her breath clenched, fired. Clang, the display ran fast, flashed past 200 and froze at 233. You up 18 pounds from last time, Ada reported. Still not conservative enough, Raven Locke thought. The original must have been a super fighter and brew, sleek lass or better, not only strong but trained, cruelly a real human weapon. Lava Locke, Alan Pierce waved as he came into Zone B. Training here too? Yeah. Phil Trusty wanted to touch a gun and throw a few. Raven Locke rolled her shoulders. If I go a day without a gun, my hands go wrong. You have to keep it hot. Want to spar, do not look down on a tech. I rank top 10 in field, Alan Pierce grinned. No, I just came off a field op. I am tired, not sharp. Raven Locke smiled in decline. How is John Ming? Surgery done, old you is with him, Alan said. Did you go to psychology yet? We talked a bit. He gave me a whole jar of Gojar and great dates, Raven Locke said. He gives everyone candy and tea, Alan smirked. Does he offer fizzy stuff or just tea? Never mind, long story, want a tip for the interview? He began, then stopped as Adam cut in. Intern Raven Locke, report to Unit 7 office, Adam said. Raven Locke blinked, Alan smiled. Maybe the captain will talk about making you full-time? I will go, she said, and left. In the lift her, I was oddly calm, only days in the second world and her temper had shed a skin. From a fresh high school grad chasing odd jobs to a clean double agent, even her thinking had been shaped by the role. Every day she worried about this and that, covered every flank, hid every seam, watched every word, exhausting. She reached Marcus Hale's door. It opened. You are here, Raven Locke, Marcus said. Fill the form. He handed her paper. The title read, Conversion Application. I can go full-time, Raven Locke said. Pass the final interview, and you can, not hard. You will pass, Marcus said. Tomorrow at 9 in the morning, all right? Raven Locke could only accept. No problem, Captain. Good. Once you convert, you can move to staff housing. Safer than Anning Street near your place, Marcus said. She finished the form. The day was almost done. She said goodbye, grabbed the jar from the restroom, took the lift, and headed home. As soon as she sat on the maglev seat, she opened the band, a string of messages from Silverface. I went to the port again. Found nothing else, met some goons from a rival gang. They are in the way. Can I kill them? If you do not answer, I will move free. You said I can decide on my own, right? I killed them. Ran into smugglers at the port. Did not kill this time. It was alcohol, not worth our attention. Why are you not replying? So busy. When do you get off? Raven Locke's side closed his thread. The next message came from someone else and snapped her attention tight. Parlandrid, Harbor District Truby Bar, Mission Team, General Meeting. Divide roles for the port demolition, attendance mandatory. Sender, raid. A totally unfamiliar call sign. What are you holding? Silverface stared at the glass jar under her arm. Tia co-worker gave me. Raven Locke said as she changed shoes in the door. You have gotten inside and earned their trust, Silverface asked, curious. Boil water, Raven Locke said, and set a pot on. Cracked eggs, chopped vegetables, moved like she had lived here for years, a home scene built step by step. You could at least answer. Silverface sulked. I asked a serious question. She glanced at him and said, how many missions did you run this afternoon? He counted on his fingers. 3. Report, Raven Locke said. He rattled off. She listened, weighed, and drew out details he had missed, then handed him the bowl. Eat. He ate like a storm. Did you get the message? Raven Locke asked without turning. Silverface thought a beat. You mean read? Yes. Raven Locke watched the water roll and waited for him to go on. Got it. He said, glum. He is always like this. Calls a meeting late so the notice window is short and nothing leaks. He is like you, way too careful. Jumps at shadows. Raven Locke turned the words in her head and said, so that is your read on read. You will not tell him I bad-mouthed him, right? Silverface stiffened. Do I look idle? Raven Locke said. He stared at her, decided she truly did not care to tattle, and said, working under you is better than under him. When he assigns me tasks, I do not even have time to eat. Your logic is, you get to eat here so you think I am better. Yes, Ravenlock said. Ah, you could say that, he muttered. Food black hole, she thought. After they ate, Silverface cleaned the kitchen as usual. While you check the numbers in your room, water the plants, the floor needs a mop, you can control water, not mopping would be a waste. Call me when it is time to go, Ravenlock said. Silverface scrubbed harder. You and Raid are truly old partners. Both know how to order people around. Her answer was the crisp sound of a door closing. Ravenlock lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. She and Red had been partners, a surprise piece. How close had they been? How well did Reed know her? From Silverface's sketch, Red was overcautious. Would he spot something off? The Ruby Bar run would be dangerous. She propped up and pulled Silverface's data reader close. The file logged personnel around the port bombs who were suspects and moved around the docks often, who were members of dock gangs who were under watch. Suspects and flagged were marked in red, witnesses and persons of interest in yellow, minor link in green. Black Sea's cameras were silent eyes. They watched everyone and fed the Bureau. Adam judged who to flag and who to tail. But the city had blind zones. The Bureau could not reach every crack. Black Sea was split clean, the glitter and a rot beneath it, stitched together in one city. The data was too much to crack in a pass. She put the reader aside and pulled a Black Sea Academy textbook on forensic techniques and read, learn a different chapter, rest the mind. Out of the hell of senior year and into another sea of knowledge, and she had no choice. An officer who does not know forensics will trip. She read like a woman at war and searched the net for terms and devices she did not know. Without that, she could not parse the jargon or what the machines did. Study made time run fast. 11 o'clock came and knocked on the door. Time to go, Silverface said. They moved through rain-slick streets. Silverface took the roofs with ease, then carried her on water up a wall, gliding from eave to eave. Slow down, she said once as the wind tore at her. I am not a cat. No. Silverface lied reflexively. You are almost a match for some awakened Urs now. He behaved after that. After a few roofs, he stuck to ground in alleys. Half an hour later, he pointed down a knee on Sept Lane. There, the bar. We take the back door. The sign was over the top. Gaudy colors and cheap glow paint drowned it. Tasteless, vulgar. Nothing like what Ravenlock had pictured. Even outside, the noise and beat hit like a wall. They stepped through the service door. A server came up with a tray. Tonight is masks night. Would the guest like a mask? The goggles did not cover her brow. Perfect. Raven picked a spider mask from the tray, turned her back, took off the goggles and fixed the mask. Not taking the face mask, Silverface muttered. Double lock, Raven said. They reached the dance floor. Dancers burned under the lights. A few men in black slit trousers, bare torsos lit with muscle, swung on poles as the crowd whooped. The music hammered. Ravenlock flicked her ear and clicked her tongue. A drunk with a tattooed arm staggered up with a glass and said, "Hey, drink with me, HIC, a drink?" Raven considered how to handle him for less than a second. When his hand reached the wrong way, she gave up thinking, punched his nose and dropped him cold. His forehead split and his nose ran red. He hit the floor and stayed there. Power is convenient. She had learned how to use violence. No one noticed the small scene in the corner. She stepped over him and reached the bar. The uniformed bartender said, "What can I get you, babe?" A deep blue. Ravenlock said the passphrase. Right? He slid a glass to her and said low, "Basement level 2, room 206. I am going deaf," Silverface complained as they went down. "Why here of all places?" asked Rid. Ravenlock poured the drink out and set the glass on a passing table. She stopped before 206. The sublevel was a wine store. The sound was muted here. No traffic, no color, only cases of bottles breathing spirit. Ravenlock took the handle. Biometrics confirmed. The door opened. She stepped in and a voice in the room said, "Oh, look, you are so early, half an hour to spare." A man in heavy makeup and a purple glitter suit at the end of the table, compact in a mirror. He finished, pursed bright red lips, and seemed pleased with the look. Silverface took it in stride. He picked a chair and sat. "Rid, do you have a spare reader?" Silverface asked, at least remembering business. Rid turned with a catty curl and glared. "No, broke another. How many is that now? How many times have I said it? They are not cheap." "Unavoidable mission loss," Silverface argued. Rid arched a brow and dropped it. People came in one by one, paired or single, a bald man with a neck like a log. His partner, a woman with a rose tattoo and sharp eyes, Coulson T-horned rose, Red said later. The bald man, a heavy-set serpent of a man who glared and then flattened under a look from T-horned rose, Coulson bald python, Ravenlock guessed and was right. Then the door opened again, 2 teenage boys. No, boys not men, young, identical faces, twins, their steps matched, the chairs pulled out in the same beat, and they sat in sync, head down, quiet. Last came a man dressed like a waiter. He closed the door, smooth cuffs and bow, and sat with a drawl. The bar is too busy tonight. I hate leaving the counter. When we discussed the job, spare us your mixing hobby, Red said. All right, the fork cells are here, some first meetings by custom names. The waiter went first, Coulson bartender, Red's partner. T-horn rose, the woman said, my teammate is the bald one. Ball python, the big man said, not bald, do not get it wrong. The twins raised their heads. I am Amber, said the right one. Obsidian, said the left one. Last was Ravenlock Spare. Silverface, he said. Rich lady, Ravenlock said. Bartender eyed Silverface and said with a straight face you could change your Coulson to pretty boy, it pairs with rich lady. Silverface blinked and missed the joke. Ball python got it, slapped the table and roared. Silverface finally caught on and said fast, I refuse, mine is fine. T-horn rose glared at the laughing Hulk and said to Reed, still time to swap partners, he is too noisy. No, you cannot, you have a year of groove. A waste to split red-blue on the polish. When we get a new recruit that needs training, I will give you one. Fine, T-horned rose said, tight-jawed. Enough small talk, Red's face went flat, we begin. He laid out plan A. Cripple the port before August 11. Sink the arteries, keep the Kraken out, logistics, routes, watch schedules, patrolled entity, the armory and warehouse D6308, the safe house at Ruby Bar, path line Deep Blue, the fun channel at Hunter's Range, Rick Technologies Bionics Lab on 3 for tech support. Silverface raised a hand, that is plan A. There is a B, if A flies, we blow the port by August 7. Leave 3 days of slack if A fails, the 3-day window runs plan B, we board the Kraken and plant charges, we may not come back. Do not chance sacrifice, the organization needs you, Red said. Eyes sweeping the room, everyone here is Court Allant. Strong gifts, good heads, live and you create more value and finish our great work, remember that. He put a hand to his chest, his made-up face turned devout, all for the dawn. All for the dawn, the room answered. Ravenlock blended in and said it too. Her skin crawled. A cult, she thought, a pyramid scheme with sermons. Mechanical Dawn's brainwash was strong. Devotion radiated off them, zeal to give their lives chilling. If she ever had the chance, she would leave Mechanical Dawn. Let whoever loves it have it. She would not. The meeting ran over an hour. Red laid out intel. Dissected detail. Ravenlock listened like a hunter, and when needed dropped a few short lines that sounded solid yet carried little risk, feeding the persona cold and sharp. When it ended, she was sweating under the mask. Units left in pairs. Silverface stepped out on Red's order. He had something to hand Raven alone. This reader is from the boss. Red pushed a black thumb drive, finished yesterday. Find a way into Adam's core database. Put this into a terminal. The virus our people made will sled in and sleep. Adam becomes our window into the bureau. Okay, Ravenlock pocketed it. To do that I will need time. I do not have a clean shot at the core yet. Right, the Kraken is the primary, Red said. In the bureau, do not overreach. You are a long-term plant. I do not need your reminder, Red. Ravenlock said in a tone she had learned it to wear. I know what to do. TSK, your rotten temper needs work, he said. Now go, I get an eyesore when I see you. She pushed the door. Silverface jerked awake from a doze against the wall. Go home, he said. They crossed the floor. Silverface saw a server with fruit and sweets and swiped 2 plates. Our turf, he said, free to eat. Others gone, Ravenlock scanned. Gone, our tender is the owner here and still on the floor, Silverface said. They left by the back. The air outside felt clean. The bar air was foul, smoke, booze, perfume, sweat, all mixed hard to breathe. Silverface drew a happy long FUL. That smell almost killed me. Funny, you looked happy enough eating, Raven said. They took the road home. The rain had softened into a fine mist, needles on the face, pleasant, not the angry hammer of the downpour. Silverface walked ahead. Raven said, wait, change route, easier to be tailed. He looked back. You think someone is on us. "I have it," she said. They took 3 turns and slipped through a narrow lane. She named another turn. Silverface obeyed without fuss. Right then, the hairs rose at her neck. "Danger sense bit go left now," she said, and moved. She did not know what she dodged, only that something lethal had locked her from the dark. The 2 of them flashed left. At the same time, from a blind patch across the way, a bullet spun out of a suppressed barrel. No human runs faster than a bullet. Before Raven could complete the step, the round hit her forehead. Clang! The spider mask split. A clear steel ring sung in her skull. The alloy plate took the round. The impact snapped her head back, and she staggered. Her head rang. Blood ran down her brow. A deformed slug jammed in the metal. Silverface reacted at once. A wall of water rose and caught the next rounds. They ticked and fell on the stones. Raven ugged the slug out of her forehead. Silverbone gleamed under the torn skin. "Which bastard?" she hissed, fury spiked. So close, a hair away. If that slug had hit enter mass, she would already be a fresh corpse. "Someone wants you dead," Silverface said, sharp and tight. "I know." Raven wiped the blood from her face. Her eyes cut to the nest the rounds had come from. A light concussion doubled the world. Someone wanted her dead. Who wanted her dead?